Well, good morning and welcome to our weekly business community support group today. We're really excited to have a great program for you. We've got, as always, Kimberly Tiffenauer from the North Central Iowa Small Business Development Center with us, Chris Patrick with Main Street Fort Dodge, and myself, Cheryl O'Hearn with Spin Market. Jed Burns with Alpha Media is taking the day off for a well-deserved break and vacation, and we're really excited to have our guests join us today. Sherry Burke from Great Western Bank will be joining us shortly and is scheduled to be on. We've got a lot of things to talk about, as always. The program with Business Community Support Group every week here at 9 o'clock on Thursdays is designed to be talking about what's going on in our community, what businesses are doing to get going during the COVID-19 ramp up, things that are going on as far as with small business development, what I'm seeing on my end in the digital world at Spin Market Digital, and what Chris Patrick is seeing with Main Street and the small businesses she works with. And then, of course, we bring on to talk about a variety of things. Today, we're going to start out our program and talk about a variety of things going on. But I think what we'll do, I know Kimberly has a quick class going on right now as well. So I think we'll bring Kimberly on first and talk a little bit about the SBA programs and PPP and everything else that's new out there.
Okay. Cheryl, do you have control over the slides? Can you?
I believe our individual at the media is, and if they can pull up the slides for SBA, it is at the end of the program. But if you could pull those up, that would be great.
I can until we. Okay, there we go.
Well, thank you.
Awesome. Yes, thank you. So I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about the EIDL loan through SBA. So this is the loan that you apply directly to SBA.gov that has the advance, which is a grant. And this, we've been getting a lot of phone calls because people are getting this it's appearing in their checking account. They're going through the process of accepting the loan offer they've gotten and they've received. And so we're getting a lot of questions, a lot of phone calls from business owners, but also from lenders on this particular loan. The EIDL loan is, let's go to the next slide, perhaps. And the next slide will show, okay, maybe it's not there. Can you go one more slide down and let's just see if it's there? I made a new slide, but maybe it's not. Okay, it's not there. Shoot. Okay, so I'll just speak to it. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. The EIDL loan, the thing to really remember about this is it cannot be used to pay off debt that was in place prior to the disaster. It is not meant to pay off a line of credit that you already had in place. It is not meant to, term debt that you already had in place prior to the disaster. It cannot be used for that. And that's probably the number one question we're getting right now. And I think a lot of people were anxious to use it in that way. And unfortunately, it's just not meant for that. The disaster loan is really what it says in the name. It's to be used during this time of disaster for working capital in your business. So whatever ordinary and necessary expenses that you have to keep running your business during this time period, that's what it's for. And so anything prior to this time period that's been declared disaster, so February 15, that's any prior debt. I'm sorry, but it can't be used for that. We're getting a lot of phone calls. There's a lot of disappointed business owners out there and farmers as well, ag-related businesses, and I get it. It would have been nice to have been able to reorganize some debt and get some things taken care of, and in that way. Now you can use it for if you have a term payment that's due during this time period, you can make that payment on that term debt that was originated before this time period. You can make that payment. If you secured a line of credit during this time of disaster, it can be used to pay that. So it really is very specific, and it's meant to be cash flow. And so that's truly what it's meant for. And just want to really emphasize that because we're getting, like I said, a ton of questions about that. So, some examples that I had listed on the slide, and I don't know, I'm about as techie as, I'm not. So I don't know what happened. I thought it saved, but obviously it didn't. But I can certainly, we can get that information into a slide and get it back so that it's available for you to look at. But some things that I had listed that it would be good to use it for, sometimes you have your inventory, you've got inventory you can't move, and so that's tying up money, and you need money to be able to keep moving with the business because you've got this cash tied up in inventory. So that might, oh, there it is. Awesome. That might be a situation. So why do you need the EIDL? That's kind of where I'm at. So because you have a reduced working capital situation because of the disaster. You might have increased expenses because of the disaster. You're buying PPE items, things like that. And for some, that's just one extra expense they don't need, depending on the type of business that you're in. So cash shortage due to frozen inventory. So maybe you have inventory that you're not able to move, and it's you've got money tied up in that, and it's created a cash flow issue for you. Cash shortage due to accounts receivables. Maybe you're not getting paid because your customers aren't paying you. Again, you've got money tied up in accounts receivables, and it's creating a cash flow issue for your business. So really, it is to pay ordinary and necessary operating expenses. This is kind of redundant, but it's this slide is meant to be that because we just have found that this is a big issue out there that we need to address. So the other thing is, when you print off that loan document, please pay attention to the fine print. The fine print isn't so fine that you can't read it, and it's actually set out pretty nicely in a paragraph form, larger print, where you can go through it, but pay attention to those paragraphs and read it. The UCC filing is something else that we're getting questions about. It is a blanket UCC filing. And the thing that I'm going to say about that is you need to know what that means for you personally and for your business. And if you have questions about that, then you need to get a hold of your attorney or your accountant, or call the SBDC, and we'll be happy to visit about that. But you really do need to understand some things about how that could affect you, because this is a 30-year loan. And again, EIDL is only meant to pay for ordinary and necessary operating expenses during this time of disaster. So I've kind of beat that up and driven it into the ground, but wanted to make sure that that's clearly understood. I think the next slide might talk a little bit about the PPP. If we can have that deadline for the PPP has been extended to August 8th. It has cleared both houses, and we're just waiting for the president to sign it, so that will be taken care of. If you haven't taken advantage of the PPP and you wished you would have, there's still time to do that. So go ahead and do that. It is, it's a very good thing to take advantage of. I highly recommend that you either start a separate checking account just to track the PPP very closely, or you you definitely have an Excel worksheet or something set up to track that so that you have the forgiveness pieces in place when it comes time to apply for the forgiveness. So again, the changes that they've made are very good, going from the 8 weeks to the 24 weeks, the loan forgiveness period, and lowering the percentage or increasing, excuse me, the percentage that can be used for payroll. There's again, this is good, another good cash flow tool to keep those employees there in your business, and even if you have to pay someone who's not getting unemployment to work fewer hours a week, the point is to keep that person on your payroll, and so that they're in place when you do go back to being in full business. Okay, the next slide I think shows the easy application, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but that is available. Again, it's specific to certain situations. So if you are self-employed and you have no employees, you did not reduce the salaries or wages of your employees by more than 25%, and did not reduce the number of hours of your employees. You experienced reductions in business activity as a result of health directives related to COVID-19, and did not reduce the salaries or wages of your employees by more than 25%. So the easy application, if you meet one of those, then this might be for you. So just pay attention to that, read through it. It's not going to apply to every business, certainly, but if it applies to you, then definitely take advantage of that and shorten that forgiveness process. So I think that's really all of the updates that I have. We are getting a lot of calls from businesses that are still needing assistance. They are needing cash. They're wanting to do some reorganizing of debt, things like that. So if you're feeling that, if you're starting to feel the crunch, please give us a call so we can work through that with you. All of our services are free and confidential. So we're here to, walk alongside you and help you through this process. It's not getting easier. It's getting for some businesses.
I think one thing that you may want to add on the filling out your PPP app form, as to what you used your funding for, most CPAs and accountants are saying really hold back on filling that out right yet. On there. So don't be in a hurry to fill it out. You've got plenty of time. Just, like you said, Kimberly, just make sure that you're keeping the documentation.
Right. And exactly. And lenders are telling their bank customers that as well. They're not ready to do it yet either. They, just take some time, work on it on your end, making sure that you've got your T's crossed and your I's dotted best you can, but don't rush into that process. So
perfect. Thank you very much, Kimberly. Are you going to be staying on, or will you be leaving?
I'm going to hop off now, so I'm going to say goodbye and join the QuickBooks class that we've got going.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's another service for you to remember that SBA does provide QuickBooks training programs as well. If you can start the slide again on the second slide presentation, I do have a video that I was able to pull up. And for you Hawkeye fans, you will recognize some of these individuals out there. And this YouTube is produced, this commercial, it's actually a commercial now. It was done by the Iowa Farm Bureau Association. So we're really, it's a great opportunity to see a little bit more about what's going on and the support of our farmers out there, and the Hawkeyes talking about it. If you can't, you should be able to click it and pull it up, but if you can't, I'm sorry about that. I thought that was set in there, but this is you'll see it on TV now and posted. But you can go to YouTube and go to the Iowa Farm Bureau and see that as well. So on our next slide, Sherry Burke will be joining us here shortly. She's on a conference call and she's with Great Western Bank. But we do also have one of the things that banks are experiencing right now is fewer coins in circulation. And if you can click that video, hopefully will work for you. You can click the video part and talks about what banks are going through right now to, no, that's not working either. Well, you can tell that our slides, we had some issues on that this time. So why don't we wait until Sherry Burke gets on here for Great Western Bank. And I'm going to turn it over to Chris Patrick. She's got a lot of things to talk about on Main Street, including the member marketplace program that she'll be ramping up, and then some additional activities or businesses that'll be doing some things in the future here this summer.
Well, thanks, Cheryl. So we've got several different things that are going on, and you can see the member marketplace slide was up there for just a second about getting members and selling together online. Iowa Economic Development Authority has created Shop Where You Live. It's a partnership with the organization that runs Shop Where You Live. And so all of the Main Street communities are able to join that. All of our businesses can post their online portals in conjunction with Shop Where You Live to reach more customers. And it's going to be free. There's no charge to it for the first year. So we had a conference call or webinar yesterday, and we will be sharing that information with our businesses. Hopefully we'll get everybody started to get online next week. Lamar's started this process, probably about 3 weeks ago. And so they've got several of their downtown businesses able to really use that portal so then they can reach more customers. The other thing that we're doing a couple things we're doing that we really need your assistance and your input. The first one is our Streetscape Master Plan survey is closing tomorrow. We're still shy, probably about 175 responses right now to our goal of 900. That's going to give us a real good cross section. And so we really hope that you go to our website or our Facebook page and click on those links to get to that Streetscape Master Plan survey. And look what we just started yesterday. This is our Main Street Iowa Pulse poll. And really what it is, it's a consumer confidence survey. So we did our business survey with all the businesses several weeks ago, probably at the first part of May. Got some really good information out of that, so we know where they're at. Overall, people are optimistic, which is really great. So we want to compare what the businesses are doing to bring their customers in and what the customers want those businesses to be doing. So you can see that portal right there on your screen. This is a quick survey. It only takes about 3 minutes. And the questions range from how soon are you going to get back into a restaurant? How do you want to go to that restaurant? Do you want to be inside in that restaurant, sit down and eating? Do you want it to be curbside delivery, home delivery? Or would you rather have a parklet that's like outdoor seating in a parking space outside? So that's a couple of those questions. We were able to customize that survey. So we're asking questions about our lunches on the square. We did cancel our July lunch and hope to do picnic in the park in August, so people feel safe. And then we still are planning for our September 11 lunch on the square in memory of 911 and also to honor our firefighters and our police department. So would you come to those events? Are people still really wanting to be home and not eating out or being around other people? We are seeing more customers wearing masks. Our businesses in the downtown are still pretty, open to not requiring masks to come in, but a lot of them are wearing masks for your protection. So is that something you want to see? all those types of questions. We are seeing a little bit of a slowdown in walk in the door customers over the last, I'd say, week, just because there are a spike in COVID cases in the surrounding area. So those are the kinds of things that those businesses need to know to stay open and to get through the third and fourth quarter, because that's where so many of them make their money for the entire year. If they are not able to get those customers online or in the door, we hope they stay open. And it's a reality. So we really want to make sure that we are preparing them and doing our best to support those businesses in the downtown. Let's see, what else? So we also
Great.
have...
And
Go ahead, Cheryl.
No, I was just going to say those are really good points, because the businesses need to hear this as well. You know, what is their perception and what is the reality? Is there perception that everybody wants to go out and they're not doing the marketing they need, or is the reality that people are still holding back on it and they need to it helps them make decisions of what they need to do internally as well?
Definitely. So, we did get our interactive map up, and it is going online thanks to Sherilyn Spin Market Plus Digital. So great map. But we're wanting to make sure that people are actually going to that map. Hopefully we can turn that into an app that you can find in an app store. That's for the future. But more and more people are kind of getting excited about that. We are going out to the businesses and making sure that their Google business listing is correct, doing those behind the scenes support to make sure that they're marketing themselves right, and then making sure if they're looking for, a paid service, that we send them in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. And that's very, very, very important. A lot of businesses don't realize how important that backdoor stuff is. Pictures are great, but if the backdoor stuff isn't there, it's just like your foundation of your house or your building. It's got to be there for your business as well. You also are kicking off a 4th of July or a July shopping program.
Oh,
or is that still
absolutely. I was
in
just
the works?
A message from Sherry. Sorry. She is struggling to get into our StreamYard on her work computer, so I'm not sure if she's going to be able to join us. So yes, our downtown businesses are doing Summer of Independence. That's independent business owners. And so there's really great sale on July 6th through the 11th. Some of them are celebrating Christmas in July from the 9th to the 11th. So that's even better, right? I don't know if I'm ready for Christmas yet, but it's never too early to buy lights, I think. I really like lights. So we have several of those businesses. And the way to find out what those sales are and who's participating is to go to Facebook and type in shoplocal.shopcentral. And that has a listing of all of the retail events that are going on, some of those really great posts that businesses share. That is really the place, the site, to see what's going on with our Main Street merchants. So please check that out. Again, that is shoplocal.shopcentral. So that is the way that you get into that. Each of those participating stores has a poster in their window that says that. And we're really promoting that great incentive that the city applied, and that is free parking in the downtown. So the lots in the downtown at this time are free. You don't need a permit. You don't need to pay a meter. You just come on down and you can walk around, breathe some fresh air, whether you have a mask on or not. The wind's blowing, so hopefully that will take those COVID germs away. And shop. There's a lot of stores that are still open. We've got great cluster stores down on 12th, just off of Central Avenue, across from Fairway. And again, down the street through Central, all the way to Real Deals on the west side of the library. So please come in, shop those stores. The Big Picture across from the courthouse is open. I know it's kind of harder to park around there now with all of the fencing due to the great work that they're doing on the clock tower. But please come down. And then we're going to continue those sales throughout the summer and doing that big marketing push to come down, again, friendlier downtown, safer downtown, and really trying to boost those businesses, whether they are service businesses, restaurants, or retail.
Well, and also want to bring up to their attention that when you're coming downtown, you're going to see several businesses, their facades being changed. We've got a great big project going on that Chris has worked very hard on, and getting funding. And we're going to see, was there 11 or 12 buildings that are going to be done, Chris?
Yeah, there are 12 buildings. And yesterday we had our pre-construction meeting with the contractor and the architect at City Hall. So all of the business owners or property owners showed up for that. So the Tuck Pointer should be getting started here in 2 weeks. So it's like we've had to wait what felt like a really long time, but you're going to start seeing some work done on 1101 Central Avenue. That is a big building that Hardee's Caddy Shack is in. So they'll be replacing brick and doing a lot of repointing, or as you hear the term, tuck pointing work on that building. So that's going to be a great start. And it's kind of like a conveyor belt. We've got the tuck pointer. He's going to come in and work on buildings, and then you'll see the windows coming in, the carpentry pieces done, and finally the painting that's going to be done on the outside of these buildings. And we will be sharing that our architect rendering, colored rendering in each of the windows of the businesses. And Cheryl's interns have been taking some really good pictures for us as this before the project gets going, and we're going to continue that as the project moves forward. Also, we'll share those same renderings on our Facebook and website so everybody can see what is going on downtown. Really great project. Another project that we have going on is the Challenge Grant project. We won $75,000 from the state back in October, and it was given to Tom and Andrea Groff. They own 15 North 11th Street. It was a garage with 2 vacant apartments, except for the pigeons, for a very long time. And so now there's 2 really great apartments upstairs. They have renters for both of those. Her bakery is going to be going in hopefully soon. And then the other space is up for rent. So if somebody wants about 400 square feet, it's a perfect place for an office, especially if you can find a partner. So you're sharing different days into that space and not really needing a large conference room. Please reach out to Tom or Andrea or contact me for that space. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of growth in the downtown. The fish room will be opening just shortly around July 15th, and we had 4 businesses open in the month of May. So things are going good. I mean, we're moving forward. We are, trying to help some of those businesses that for different reasons don't feel that they can open yet for safety reasons. And we just want to make sure that the public is supporting them along with what we're doing here at Main Street.
Right. Well, and sounds like we need to make some additions to the interactive map then too, and get.
We do.
The new one on there. And that's why it's called interactive map, because it's constantly being added to and improved. And so it's not something that you just hop on once. It's something that's going to be used for everybody to go in and see what's going on. We'll be putting on some events and stuff like that as the events start picking up again on it as well. So we do encourage you. You can go right to Main Street, fd.org. And there's a drop-down box right away for you to look at that, as well as the survey, and make that a bookmark on your browsers so that you can go in and see what's going on downtown, because there is a lot of activity, and it'll be great to see the buildings. It's always fun to see the improvements that are going on. That adds such an excitement.
It really does. And also the businesses are able to have a direct link if they choose to do that. So you would see their custom logo, and then you could go directly to their Facebook or their website. So you can get the latest deals, their events, information about what's going on and upcoming events in those stores. So Again, Cheryl, thank you so much for putting that together, and we hope everybody starts using that as their first go-to for downtown Fort Dodge.
Great, thank you very much. But it was a great project for our team here at Spin Marketplace Digital. Well, Sherry's had some problems getting on, and so we did. Our production crew has been able to pull up our video. So I'm going to turn it over to them, and let's watch this new commercial. It's really a great one, and I have a little soft spot in it for farmers because my husband farms. Well, I'm sorry that you could not hear that video. Unfortunately, I don't know why the video or the audio didn't come through, but please watch your TV or go to YouTube and pull up Iowa Farm Bureau, and that one will come up. It's really a great promotional video talking about the football players talking about their commitment to Iowa, as well as their personal situations where they have family members that are farmers. It's really a good piece. And this is the joy of doing things live and technical difficulties. And we've probably had just about every one of them today, but it's been a great morning. We do want to wish Sherry's still having problems getting on, I believe. And so we're going to probably just have to see if we can't get Sherry on next week to talk about what's going on in the banks and what they're having to do. I know have a couple clients that are banking institutions and financial institutions, and we've had to work with them on the digital end as well as what they've had to do to make accommodations to take care of their customers during the COVID-19 and how they've been able to handle banking for those businesses that we support every day, our small and medium-sized businesses. So we want to wish everybody a safe and happy 4th of July. Here is, again, our presenter, our program promoters here. We've got Jed Burns, the GM at Alpha Media, who is taking a well-deserved break this week. Main Street Fort Dodge Executive Director Chris Patrick. and of course, Kimberly with the North Central Iowa Small Business Development Center. I'm Cheryl O'Hearn with Spin Market Digital, and we're all here at any time to help you with putting together your information that you need as a resource. If we're not able to provide that information for you, we will do our best to get you to the resources you need and get you the support you need here in our community. So anything else that you want to add, Chris, that we haven't covered today?
No, I want to wish everybody a great 4th of July weekend, and thank you for tuning in. And like Cheryl said, you can reach us at any time, and we're more happy to assist you or direct you to someone who can help you. So happy 4th, everybody.
And thank you for the behind the scenes help that we received from Alpha Media today. So when Jed was not here. So thank you very much, and enjoy your 4th of July. Be careful, be safe, and we'll see you next week. Same time on Thursday, July 9th, I believe, at 9 a.m. Thank you.